Alright guys, welcome back to our fourth tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll be going over how to create our very first ERC 721 contract, which is an NFT contract. But before we get started, if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you can stay notified every time we drop new videos. And do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. That helps us get seen by the YouTube algorithm and pushes our channel to further heights. If you love the content that we produce and enjoy learning on how to turn NFTs into games, visit our Buy Me a Coffee page at buymeacoffee.com/NFT game devs and share our page or buy us a coffee. Every donation goes towards creating free content so that you can continue to learn how to be an NFT game developer. Alright, let's get started. First thing we're going to do is move over to Openzeppelin.com and we're going to download the Openzeppelin Library in order to get started writing our ERC 721 contract. So go over to Openzeppelin.com, scroll down, you should see contracts and click on go to docs. And right here is the installation method. We're going to use the Node Package Manager again to install the Openzeppelin contract library. So what we're going to do is open up our command line and type in cmd to get that. Hit enter. And then we're going to go inside of the folder that we created in the previous episode. So I am going to go to CD example 1 and hit enter. Now, if you didn't name your folder example 1, you would be CD whatever the name of your folder is on your computer. Example 1 is the name of the folder that I created on my computer in the previous episode. So the first thing we're going to do now that we have this open is we're going to initialize Truffle. In the previous tutorial, we installed Truffle and now we are going to initialize it, which will set up our environment within the folder that we created, which is example 1 in my case. To do this, I'm going to type the command truffle init for initialize and hit enter. And this will install all the necessary folders that we need in order to start. So now that that has finished installing the folders, I'm going to go ahead and open up my Atom. So I'm going to type in Atom and open the folder that we created. So I'm going to go File, Open Folder, and then I'm going to go into example 1 and hit select folder. So now we are inside of the example 1 folder, and here you can see we have a folder called contracts, a folder called migrations, a folder called tests, and our truffle config file. These were all created when we ran the truffle initialization command in the command line. All right, next we want to install the Openzeppelin library. So I'm going to minimize my Atom, come back to the web browser, and I'm going to hit this to copy the installation link. I am going to paste that, Control V into the command line and hit enter for the installation. All right, now that we have that library installed, I'm going to go back over to my Atom, and you can now see that we have a new folder. It says Node Modules. If we open up the Node Modules folder, you'll now see that we have the Openzeppelin library, and inside of that are our contracts. There are a lot of different contracts within this folder, but the contract that we're most interested in right now is the ERC 721 contract, which will be what we'll use to create our NFT contract. So what we're going to do is inherit from these contracts which already have the NFT structure set up for us. All we have to do is build on top of them. To start writing our own contract, we're going to go to File, New File. Then before we start writing, we're just going to go ahead and save that. So File, Save. And we want to save that in the Contracts folder. And we're going to name our contract Example 1. All right. Forgot to put the SOL on there for Solidity, which is pretty common and easy to do. So if you also forgot to put the .sol on there, that's no problem. Just open up the contract, click on the example or whatever you named your file, right click on it and go to rename, and just put the .sol right behind it and hit enter. All right, next we want to tell Solidity which version of Solidity we'll be using. To do this, we will use the Pragma Solidity with the caret and the version number. So this is telling Solidity which version and above that it can use. So you can either retype this Pragma Solidity into the contract right here at the top, or you can copy it like I am. I'm just going to Control C and Control V, and there it is now in the contract. And now Solidity knows to use version 8 or above. Next, we want to inherit from the ERC 721 contract. If you take a look at the contract, you can already see that the ERC 721 contract inherits from a series of other contracts. So when we inherit from the ERC 721 contract, we will gain the functionality of all of these contracts, plus the functions that are included in the ERC 721 contract itself. All right, so to inherit from the ERC 721 contract, what we're going to do is type import parentheses. Then what we're going to do is reference this folder all the way down to the ERC 721. So go open Zeppelin / contracts / token / ERC 721 / ERC 721. That's all. All right. Next, we want to inherit from the extensions folder, and we want to inherit the URI storage. So we're going to import at Openzeppelin / contracts / token / extension ERC 721 URI storage. So right, make sure that's spelled correctly. ERC 721 URI storage.so. ERC 721 URI storage.so. Right, and make sure that you put the semicolon at the end. That's like the period to your sentence. Right, All right, now we're going to start writing our contract. So we're going to say contract, the name of our contract, we'll name it example. Then we're going to say is ERC 721 URI storage. All right. And that's our contract. And we're going to put all of the information for our contract within these two brackets. Next, we're going to declare our constructor, which is going to be called when we deploy our contract. So we're going to write constructor ERC 721. And then our ERC 721 takes two constructor arguments. If you take a look in the ERC 721 contract, you can see our constructor takes a name and a symbol. The name will be the name of the collection and the symbol for the collection. So if you had a rubber ducky collection, you would put the name of your rubber ducky collection and the symbol for your rubber ducky collection. If you wanted it to be RD, you would put RD. So for example, we'd put my rubber duckies, and then the symbol would be MRD, if that was your collection. But that's not going to be our collection. We're going to stick to what we're going with, which is example. So our collection, his name is example, and EX is going to be our symbol. And inside of this is our constructor. And you have just created your very first ERC 721 NFT contract. This will conclude this tutorial. Join me in the next tutorial where we'll add some admin privileges and functions to our tutorial before we deploy to the testnet.